All right there, so this is from GB News. Thank you, Lindsay, for sending me this. Now, I haven't watched this. I started watching it, but Edwina Curry there, Edwina Salmonella Eggs Curry there, she's got a crackling on her microphone. I don't mean like a bit of pigskin, although I wouldn't put it past her. And so we can't listen to her. She doesn't really say much. This is about a statue of Margaret Thatcher, which is on a 10-foot plinth, which was originally going to be in Westminster, but fears of it pissing people off, they've moved it to Grantham, which is where Thatcher was the successful Conservative candidate in her time. And so this is a little chat about that. We've also got Jim, Nick, Chalky White Davison, and Kate Smurthwaite, who calls herself a comedian, but I wouldn't pay too much attention to that claim. Now, this is a long video, even though I've scooped past 3 minutes of Edwina wittering on. I'll probably do, with my added chat, this could end up being 40 or 50 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll respond to the whole thing, I'll cut out Edwina, and then I'll edit it up to the bits that are worthwhile. So, a statue of Margaret Thatcher, what do you think? And we're about to hear what Kate Smurthwaite has got to say about that statue.
Kate Smurthwaite, you're a big-time feminist.
Look at Smurthwaite's micro-expression. She knows what being called a feminist in today's culture war is a pejorative. Yeah, you're a destructive, horrible witch who's caused all sorts of problems for European culture and largely destroyed the cornerstone of our civilization, which is the family unit, and absolutely confused gender roles, and which is why many European women have no idea of what their role is in life, and the same with men. Feminism is also that wonderful idea that encouraged women to go back to work 2 hours after having a baby. No, really nice people. So anyway, big time feminist. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's nothing. Tell us all about Thatcher's statue. Thatcher's stature. Yeah.
Presumably, you want our first female Prime Minister, pride of place at Westminster too, right?
Sarcasm.
Well, I'm a big human rights activist, Dan.
She's not only did she happily accept big time feminist, but she's a big human rights activist, not a small one, not a medium one, but a big one. I mean, in this day and age, including this thing, I mean, he doesn't have to do anything. To be a human rights activist these days means to tweet about things, to spread awareness. Oh, awareness does loads, you know. Oh, you know, we're doing this to raise awareness for cancer. I mean, who isn't aware of cancer? It's nothing. But she's a big one of those. But a big nothing is still nothing. Continue, Kate. It's engaging.
As you know, and so I think that we should move the statue to Grantham and put it where it rightly belongs, which is at the bottom of the Thames.
Whoa! Hot burn! You can see that just those comedy chops. She can't stop herself. You know, put her anywhere and it just flows forth. Put her at the bottom of the Thames. Yeah, great stuff.
This is the woman who brought in Section 28, some of the most disgusting setbacks to the rights of gay and lesbian people around the UK. This is the person who privatised the utilities, which is exactly why we now have a cost of living crisis where...
Oh yeah, it's just that. There's no other reasons. It was just Thatcher. I mean, you can take anyone from history and they done some bad things. They made some mistakes. Anyone. Alexander the Great. Even his wonderful library in Alexandria. Mistakes are made by people because we are fallible. Kate, of course, I mean, he's perfect, so he's allowed to judge people. Continue. Looking good.
Energy prices are going through the roof, and energy companies are private companies. They're making an absolute fortune, and we're not building a nationalised energy grid. This is somebody who, you know, saw the sell-off of council housing. That means
awful to let people own their own houses. What a tragedy. I mean, look at the Soviet model where the state owned the houses. I mean, they've done the same in China. They've done the same in Cambodia. Oh, what a terrible thing,
we've now got a shortage of social housing around.
I'm sure that's just because of Thatcher. I'm sure Thatcher allowing people to, buy their homes. I'm sure that's the only reason why we've got a shortage of housing in Britain today. It won't be anything else at all. Nothing.
On the country. This is somebody who had ongoing attacks on our benefit system. I would love to see.
Yeah, well, which is quite a good thing, because benefits have devastated Europe. It's devastated England. I live in a country where there are no benefits. If you don't work, you don't eat. Do I see people starving here? No. Do I see people sleeping rough here? No. Do I? When I lived in Soho, Westminster, one of the most affluent parts of the country, the streets are lined with people sleeping rough. Well, the benefit system's great, really encouraging, really motivates people. There's families in England that have had 3 generations of people on benefits. So, yeah, so fucking right she started to question the benefit system. Welfare destroys nations. No welfare, encouraging, motivating people to generate wealth, makes nations.
More statues of women around the country. I couldn't agree with Edwina more that there are...
Edwina! Bare necessities!
Way too many statues of, military...
How do you measure that? What is way too many statues of military leaders? Where's the... you can't have a measure without a scale.
Leaders and lots of men, and what we should do is put up...
Oh, men, not men. Statues of men is awful. What a terrible thing. I mean, there is that communist terrorist bloke. That probably should come down. Although, actually, no. I think it should remain there so people realise what a peculiar period of our history when we celebrated via the statue, the communist terrorists.
Statues of the brilliant women.
Name them.
Who have done brilliant things to support their fellow humans around the country. And
such as?
Obviously, Margaret Thatcher is not one of them. She's the exact opposite of that.
Are you misgendering Margaret Thatcher? Are you saying she's the exact opposite of a woman? Yeah, you need to be careful here.
It does nothing for me as a woman to see a statue of somebody who, despite making such progress herself, did absolutely nothing for women's rights.
Jim Davidson.
In power.
Yeah, I don't know if women's rights was necessarily her agenda, because there's a thing called human rights, and women are part of that. I mean, in your scatterbrain, obviously, with 1,010 genders, I can understand that that's quite a complex procedure, but human rights actually includes women's rights, and Thatcher had other things going on at the time. I don't know, the Cold War.
Jim Davidson, so Kate Smurthwaite says she wants Thatcher at the bottom of the Thames. Your response?
As long as she swims down there with it to put it there.
Absolutely brutal. Look at Smurthwaite's face. He looks gutted. Davison, tie it to Smurthwaite's leg and let him go down with Thatcher. Look at Smurthwaite's face. She's such a thorny, horrible old witch.
I
think that would sort me out, really. Yeah, well, it's absolute nutters about, aren't they? This was...
He's right. He's right. I mean, he's said the most intelligent and honest thing here so far. There's absolute nutters about, and he's got one just sitting to his left there.
One of the greatest prime ministers we've ever had. And because that lady there, whatever her name is, didn't agree with that, she's got to be thrown to the bottom of the... Why don't we pull all the statues down, get a big ladder and take Nelson down as well? And we're just...
I would probably suggest that Smurthwaite would agree with you on that.
Just put up women and people that are nice to people. This is our history. These people are great people. Why shouldn't Margaret Thatcher be next to the great Winston Churchill and the equally great Nelson Mandela?
No, you see, you fucked up there. You fucked up there, but, you know, you're doing all right.
Tell me that. This is crazy.
Kate?
This is madness. The world's gone
I think
woke
to
and
equate
bonkers.
Margaret Thatcher with Nelson...
Oh, hang on. He said, Davison said the world's gone woke and bonkers. I like that as one word, woke and bonkers. But it would appear that leftard Smurthwaite is about to defend the communist terrorist. Let's just take it back a bit.
This is crazy.
Kate?
This is madness. The world's gone
I think
woke
to
and
equate
bonkers.
Margaret Thatcher with Nelson Mandela
Is absolutely ludicrous, because one was a prime minister who didn't bomb anyone and wasn't a communist, and you know the rest.
is disgusting.
You absolute idiot. You support terrorism and you're a communist, I take it.
You know, somebody
Is
who
it?
campaigned for equality. I mean, Margaret
Campaigned, bombed. I mean, you know, if you're being generous.
Thatcher, she didn't stand up to apartheid in quite the way that one might have hoped.
It wasn't quite her job to do that, though, was it?
She wasn't actually on the same side as Nelson Mandela.
Right, and what side was that? I mean, you do realise that South Africa is now run by communists. Do you understand it's a communist state? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of communism, but it hasn't got a very good track record. When you dare to have the gall to talk to me about fucking human rights, and especially women's rights, you might, I don't know, read a book about communism, learn about it, you lunatic.
When he was in Robben Island, when he was in prison fighting...
When he was in prison for what, again? What was it for?
For his basic human rights.
What about the people on the end of his basic human rights?
We can't put those two into the same bracket. Of course.
You haven't actually said why, though. You've just said you can't because something.
We should go round and look at whose statues are up there, and I think it's brilliant that we've already taken action to get rid of some of the horrendous slave owners and really horrific statues.
Yeah, let's just erase history. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I mean, I mean, I can't. Who else done that? Oh, Mao's China did that. Oh, hang on. Stalin was quite busy with that. Oh, hang on. Pol Pot got busy with that kind of thing as well. There's a pattern there. I just can't join the dots. I'll leave that up to you.
That we've got up there, and we should be challenging
Kate, it seems
what's
like
going
to
on
me
and putting up statues.
You don't
and you
want anyone to be
like...
celebrated
well,
whose political views you don't agree with.
Well, there you go. What a surprise. What a surprise. Smurthwaite wants communists up on plinths. Go on, let's get all those Karl Marx statues, of which there is a statue in London. You have to pay to go and see it, though. The irony. Let's go to those communist statue graveyards in the Soviet Union. Bring them all over. Just put them up everywhere. Yay, human rights. You're starving to death. Don't eat your children.
But it's not a question of whose political views I don't agree with. Who
No, it is. You've made that absolutely clear.
was responsible
For terrorism and communism.
people's human rights being taken away, for people's lives being made harder, for some of the crisis that we're still living through, for gay and lesbian
Edwina, do you
people
want to
being
respond?
Gay and lesbian. What has any of this got to do with where you want to put your dick or your fanny? I'm not quite sure.
To some of that attack on Thatcher?
Yeah, all I can hear is bile against a Conservative Prime Minister.
You can probably smell it as well. Be careful, it stinks.
I don't hear any respect or any recognition.
No, I've got
that
no
Margaret
respect
Thatcher
for her.
No,
No.
Tanya, you had your go. It's somebody else's
It's called the
go
clash,
now.
Edwina. You're going to have to deal with the fact that sometimes I talk at the same time as you.
Wow, what an awful bitch. Just unpleasant, unattractive. People, if you can track down when Smurthwaite and his husband went on to Come Dine With Me, one of the most cringe things you'll ever see. I'll try and dig it out and I'll put their little culturally appropriated fucking walk like an Egyptian dance that they done at their dinner party. No, that went down well.
I expect you experienced it in the Commons.
No. One of the things you don't do is you don't talk at the same time as me, because actually...
Yeah, you got that wrong, Smurthwaite. That doesn't happen in Parliament. It's standard procedure.
I've been at it a lot longer than you have, and I'm better at it than you are.
And she's absolutely right. I mean, the gall of Smurthwaite. What a horrible bloke he is.
You're still wrong, though.
Look at Davison just cracking up. I'd back Curry over Smurthwaite in a debate about pretty much anything that involves history all day long. I don't particularly like Edwina Curry, but she's not stupid. She's an educated woman. She knows her history.
You're still not on the side of truth and justice, so...
Truth and justice. Black Lives Matter.
It doesn't matter how long you've been fighting for people to have a worse life. It doesn't make you a...
What an unpleasant, spiteful, self-aggrandising witch he is.
better person for it. I don't mind.
Davison's yawning. Yawn alert. Davison's yawning.
Mind who is the better debater. I don't mind who is the politer. I am on the side of human rights, truth and justice.
No, just not. Awful. An awful gobshite.
And yeah, I'm absolutely happy with that.
If you are really that keen, Dan, give me the microphone just for a minute. If she's really that keen on equality and all the rest of it, why doesn't she have a go at the Labour Party that have never managed to elect a woman as leader?
I haven't come on here as a member of the Labour Party or a particular supporter of the Labour Party. It's just that...
Davison's looking at his watch. I mean, that's a proper comic. Look, it's just a genius touch. Hang on a minute. Is it time for my morning cuppa yet?
That weird thing that if you criticise a Conservative politician, they're like, well, you must be in favour of everybody else. I have all sorts of criticisms of other parties, but...
You're a communist.
That's not going to deal with the issue in hand. And the issue in hand is, should we have a statue up of somebody who supported the disgusting...
Look at these two women. Look at the two blokes and look at these two women. Now, this isn't me talking about men and women in general, but there is a certain kind of hysteria about women in politics. It's just very noticeable.
Section 28 legislation that pushed gay and lesbian rights in this country.
Jim Davidson,
How did a statue of Thatcher end up filling Smurthwaite's mouth with gaydom and lesbos? That's all it's been about. There was a very interesting conversation to be had here about what is history, what is culture, what are cultural artifacts, and how they should be, presented, and who chooses them, etc., etc. But all we're getting from Smurthwaite is yap, 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 gay, lesbian, which tends to be all you hear from her these days because she's an ally. She's an ally.
Come in.
She's a self-hating heterosexual male.
Jim, come in.
Right. Can I just say something? My TV station has just recorded all the big stars of the Falklands War, the real heroes of this country. And each one of those task force people should have their own statue. They all idolised Mrs. Thatcher. They fought a war, right, led by Mrs. Thatcher. They all idolised her. You can see it on my TV station. So come and try and pull that down.
If we're going to celebrate people who kill people...
She's loved by many...
What, like Nelson Mandela, who you've just talked, who you clearly idolise? Well, have some consistency at least.
People, but just not you. That doesn't make you right and everyone else wrong. And Edwina, you must be really fed up.
It's a coincidence then.
People throwing your eggs.
We don't talk about it.
Look at that shot. I'm laughing. He's laughing. Davison's laughing. Curry's laughing. That bitter, anus-faced Smurthwaite just can't even laugh about that. Can you imagine the world it inhabits? Just bile and just bitterness and an absolute personal failure.
Edwina and eggs, Jim. That's
Look, everyone's cracking up. Smurthwaite's struggling not to. She wants to show that no. You know, grow up. Kate Smurthwaite, grow up.